When I started doing locums, dude, you're so like venturing off somewhere without your cell phone and like going into uncharted territory. The worst case scenario, I just pick up another job. Our inboxes are flooded. I'm making more money, I have more time, and the worst case scenario, I can go back to taking another W-2 job. There's zero risk.
As a W-2, I was making $2,500 a day max. As a locum, they were paying $5,500 or $5,000. Literally took my income from $45K all the way up to like $70 to $80K.
You gotta work hard, stack cash early in your career when you're young and you have the energy.
Exactly.
You graduate residency, go spend a year, 2 years working 18, 20 shifts a month, getting $350 an hour. You can make $700, $800K easy each year. Pay off your student debt if you want to, or invest in some real estate. You're financially free.
Yeah. I finished up a 6-month contract. I made 3x of what my co-fellow did. And we were working for the same hospital system. He's W-2 and I was a locum. That means literally in 6 months, I made around $600K.
I just don't think doctors like money anymore. This is highly specialized work. It's extremely valuable. The only value that's going to be attached to that is the value you put on it. They worship these athletes who will like die to like take a picture with them. But with their doctor who's literally spent 10 years of his life slaving away, working 150-hour weeks, there's a problem with him making a little bit of money. Well, welcome to the Top Doc Podcast. I'm your host, Ali Chaudhary, and here I got my boy here, Dr. Nouri, who is the Incredible MD, guys. Really excited to have him. He drove down from Sacramento. I was going to say San Diego. From Sacramento in his Lambo, of course. And yeah, we're just going to be talking about locums, entrepreneurship, breaking free from the medical matrix. We're not advocating for anything crazy, but you know, we're going to have a great conversation about kind of breaking the mold and not having to fit in the structure of medicine that you've been taught when you went through residency. And so I'm really excited to have you here, man. Welcome.
Likewise. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So this is his first podcast. I've done a couple now. And so, you know, the goal is just to have a casual conversation, right? And just talk about locums and lifestyle. So I wanted to just kind of kick it off. People kind of know, you know, because it's my host, I'm the host, but I've been told my story a few times. And I think people who follow you, of course, know you through your social media, which you have a very good presence on Instagram specifically. And I think some TikTok as well.
I've dibble-dabbled in a little bit of TikTok, to be honest. I don't even know how to use the app, though, so I'm catching up.
Same. So let's start off with, who is Dr. Nouri?
Oh, gosh. That's deep. No.
Well, let's cover surface, and then we'll go deeper. So you are what specialty, and where do you practice?
Yeah, so I'm a hematologist and medical oncologist. What, like 13 months out of training so far? So I completed my first year. Yeah.
That's early.
Crazy. So already changing the system, huh?
My man. For real. That's impressive. Incredible.
Yeah.
So you, internal medicine, right?
I did 3 years of internal medicine, and then I did 3 years of a hematology oncology fellowship.
Okay.
And then graduated. I initially signed a perm contract, right? Like
out of
a typical
residency.
W-2, out of fellowship. So, and then I had this gap of like 2 months, and I'm like, man, what am I gonna do with 2 months? Because everybody was signing contracts for September, right? We all graduate, we're done by July 1st.
Got it.
And then I started thinking, well, hell, you know, like,
you need to make some money.
What am I gonna do in those 2 months, you know? And a lot of guys were taking time off to study. They were going on these crazy vacations. I couldn't do that at the time. And so I thought, hell, I was getting these locum emails, and I was like, let me just give it a try. And then...
So you didn't even really know much about locums?
I didn't. My attending in fellowship, actually, he's the one who started it first. Like, he left his W-2 gig, wasn't happy in his job. He was in academic medicine.
Okay.
And he started it, and he was telling me how much he was getting paid. He was in the middle of Montana, but he was making so much money. I was shocked.
You probably didn't even believe him almost. Like, what?
I didn't.
How's that even possible?
And then even when I would get calls from locum agencies, I almost thought it just sounded way too good to be true. You know, 5-6K a day.
Yeah.
Like, all right, bro.
Oh,
like,
really?
You're gonna keep me for a month.
How much you gonna screw me over?
Me,
right, like a bait and switch, right? You think it's like they're trying to like.
Yeah. So I was like, you know, I got nothing to lose. I got 2 months. Let me just give it a try. And then I did it, and it was wild. It was like
Where did you go? What was your first assignment? Which state?
California.
Cali? Okay.
It was actually like literally within 20 minutes of my parents' house.
Amazing.
So I was like, this is like, you know, perfect.
Perfect, yeah.
Like the stars aligned type of thing, you know? I was like, I have to give this a try. And so I did, and it was life-changing. I mean...
So what happened to your full-time job? Did you like
sign on? I had already committed, right? And I'm like a man of my word. If I sign a contract, I tell you I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, right? Because there's so many things that can go wrong. They're expecting you. Like, I already had patients scheduled.
You don't want to burn bridges, of course, right?
You don't want to burn bridges. You don't want to screw patients over. You know, you want to do right by your patients always, I think, number one. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do my contract. I knew exactly what my exit strategy was like. And so I knew I had to stick in for about 6 months.
Okay.
So
you did that full time, and then you did some locums on the side, I'm guessing,
So
during
what
that time?
I did was the same clinic I ended up working for needed more help from locums. So I said, hey, I'm on a 4-day work week here. I'll pick up a Friday clinic. I'll pick
the
up a
same
Saturday
place?
clinic
No
at the same
way.
place.
Smart.
And I knew what they were paying the locums. So I said, give me the same rate.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
So as a W-2, I was making, I think $2,500 a day max, right? And then as a locum, they were paying $5,500 or $5,000.
Jeez, double.
So yeah, Friday I picked up a $5,500. Saturday I pulled in another $5,500. So I like literally took my income from, I think I was making 42 to 45K all the way up to like 70 to 80K around there.
Wow.
Maybe close to 90 actually. And then I would pick up weekend shifts for them too, and they'd pay me as a
A
locum.
little extra maybe for
Yeah. So it worked out for them because they didn't have to bring a new face into the
Yeah, of
clinic.
course.
It's always, patients get a little weary when there's always new faces kind of revolving. So they're like, you know what? Yeah, let's avoid hiring another guy. This guy's willing to hustle. Let's let him hustle.
That's amazing. So you kept your word, you did locums, and then what was the time where you kind of figured out, like, why would you switch over to locums, like, fully? Why was that decision made?
I was already bought into the idea my first 2 months, right?
Because you saw the
Yeah, I
difference,
saw it,
right?
yeah.
I'm assuming you saw
The
the
only
difference.
reason I went into the W-2 was
W-2,
because,
and then you saw your 1099. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like, you kind of knew, okay, well, guys.
dude, to be honest with you, I was check to check on my W-2. You know,
Really?
like when I started,
Why is that? Taxes, right?
taxes, there's obviously like lifestyle inflation when you get done from training. Shoot, man, mine was 14 years in training, right? Of medical school, college, and then, the residency
course.
fellowship. And like, you don't
Hence
want
all
to
the
wait
Lambos
anymore.
and then the rolls and all that stuff. You got to compensate for time lost.
You got
You know what I mean?
We lost our 20s, right? And then now
did.
you find yourself mid-30s. You're like, holy hell, like, when am I going to live my life? When am I going to, like, take care of
But
my
wait
parents?
a minute. Why didn't you want to live like a resident for your entire life?
No, dude.
I mean, come on. Isn't this the WCI way? The white coat investor way? Live
Oh
like a
my
resident,
God.
guys. You need to be a
My
resident for your
mission
entire
is to
life.
take them out of business.
Pray that you survive until you're 65 and you don't die before then. And then maybe you can buy like an entry level, like, I don't know, something.
Yeah. It's wild what they teach. And they just posted something right now. I was like scrolling through Instagram while I was waiting. And they're like, don't practice in California. It's going to be detrimental to your career. I was like, I'm practicing in California. I can't imagine like a better setup right now.
You're from the Bay or
I'm
Sacramento
from
area?
NorCal, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, so you want to stay home.
Yeah.
So that's another good point, actually. Obviously, California, cost of living, extremely high.
It is.
So,
It is.
but you make good, obviously great money. It's not about necessarily making more. It's about keeping more of what you make.
Exactly.
Right? And the thing that W-2 doctors don't get, like I did a talk at ASEP at the conference. I was explaining to them, guys, look, so W-2 and 1099, it's just you have to understand basics.
Yeah.
Like this is kind of like, I mean, I don't know, finance 101, right?
Yeah.
And we're not going into advanced level stuff. It's like if you don't understand this stuff at a very basic level, you're leaving like millions of dollars on the table the next 10 years.
Easily.
Depending on your specialty, right?
Yeah.
And it's because like the fact that, look, W-2, you have no say where your money goes. It's like literally going to Uncle Sam.
Yeah.
I remember my first paycheck, bro, I was like, what? I thought I was going to be balling.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have this idea when you get out of residency because, you're broke your entire life.
Oh, it hits you so
Finally,
hard.
I'm going to make some money. And then you hit that check. I'm like, where'd the rest of it go?
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the rest of it? And then month after month, you're like, wait a minute, dude, this is, now I'm like, I feel like I've been lied to.
Yeah.
No one told me about taxes.
Yeah. My first check was the pre-tax was $100K because it included my sign-on bonus.
Oh.
Okay.
The bonus.
After tax, it dropped to literally my take-home was like 48 or 49. I was like, what?
How much was your bonus?
My bonus was 65K, but they split it up into 2 different checks.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing, the bonus.
Yeah.
I talked about this with residents. I was telling them, listen, guys, this bonus it's a golden handcuff.
Yeah.
Because when you're broke, $100,000 seems like a lot of money.
It does.
And then guess what? Half of it goes to taxes.
Yeah.
And that $100,000 is in many of the contracts for EM is spread out over like 5 years.
Yeah.
So they're essentially giving you $10K a year
Yeah.
for 5 years to
Yeah.
like. I'm like, you can make that up in a month doing locums.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even like consider that? So
Yeah.
I was cautioning them, like, don't let that sort of carrot. Don't let them dangle that carrot in front of you and fall for that trap because it's what it is. It's a trap.
Yeah, it depends on how your contract is structured. Like, so in my contract, luckily, I was not tied with any sort of sign-on bonus and me having to stay a year.
Are you
or 2.
serious?
Yeah, I got really lucky in my contract.
Bro,
so.
EM is like, you got to stay there for like a couple of years. So for when I signed on for my job, great job. I loved it actually. But I was supposed to be there for like 3 years and I forget what the bonus was. I think like 50, 60, 70 grand, something like that. But I had to stay there. Well, or pay it back.
Yeah.
I ended up paying it back. I'm like, after 2 years, I'm like, yeah, I'm not sticking around here anymore.
Yeah.
So I paid that back and I'm like, I need to get out.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I've already decided based on my locum experience that this didn't make any sense.
Yeah,
for me
when
to
I
say
did
that.
my 2 months of that locums, I literally went back to my contract and I looked at everything. I was like, what's my exit strategy?
Yeah.
I need to get out of here as
Yeah.
soon as I can with the least amount of like hit, right?
Yeah.
And then I was looking through it and I was like, man, I'm golden in the sense that as long as I stay 6 months and I gave them a 3 months heads up, I was golden. They didn't
Perfect.
want the sign-on bonus, nothing back. I had a relocation stipend. I had a sign-on bonus. The relocation was almost like $20K because I moved from LA.
That's a good contract
Came
term.
up and then yeah, I got lucky. They did give me a good contract. I'll be honest with you on that. But the locum life was just too hot and too good to pass up, man.
Oncology is hot.
It's one of the hottest, I think.
I don't know where it came from
Yeah.
right now. Radiology is super hot right now.
Yeah.
Anesthesia, as you know, probably
Yeah.
CRNAs,
Yeah.
which aren't obviously MDs, but like, it's still
Yeah,
super
yeah.
hot. They're making doctor money.
Yeah.
CRNAs are making more than a
Yeah.
lot of EM doctors are making.
I had a family friend, man. This guy was making easily $550 to $700, I think, and
As
as
a
a
CRNA?
CRNA. And it's like, man, I see hospitals working so damn hard. And they're doctors. They went through
Their
way more
jobs are-
training.
bro.
There's nothing against CRNAs. Get your bag. I
Yeah, but
have
then you get
nothing
the
against
MD.
that.
No, for sure.
But it's crazy where some medical specialties and I think the issue with IM, there's just so many guys where the 200K salary looks so good to them. They come from India, they're on
Yeah.
visas, they're on from other countries.
Yes.
So the market there is just too saturated for IM.
Well, it was hot for a while. I've noticed in the last, 'cause
Yeah.
I staff, as well. I haven't had a hospitalist job come my way in like a year, to almost 2 years
That's
now.
wild.
None.
Yeah.
And so it's like I have a lot of hospitalists that reach out to me, like, hey, can you find me a job?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just like, there's not a lot out there, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
Locums was hot for hospitalists, but not so much now. And so then you started doing some locums on the side, and then you figured out your exit strategy.
Yeah.
And then you went, you gave your 90-day notice, I'm assuming, and then you kind of started doing full-time locums.
Did full-time locums.
And it sounds like it was a long time ago, but you're only 13 months out.
Yeah. I know, right? It's crazy.
This guy's killing the game, guys, early on. And this is one thing I teach residents too.
Yeah.
Guys, you got to work hard, stack cash early in your career when you're
Yeah.
young and you have the energy.
Exactly.
Like I call it the Financial Freedom Fellowship. It's not a real fellowship, of course, in terms of its accreditation or anything. But think of it like this. You graduate residency, instead of doing some like EMS fellowship with emergency medicine, there's different stuff, right? Go spend a year, 2 years working 18, 20 shifts a month, getting $350 an hour. You can make $700, $800K easy each year.
Easy.
Pre-tax.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a savvy tax advisor and a CPA with you, lower your taxable income, pay off your student debt if you want to, or invest in some real estate. I mean, there's so many ways to do this, right? And you're financially free.
Yeah.
Like my cousin did this actually. First, a couple of years out of residency, when he's transitioned over, made almost $1 million in a year.
Yeah.
And he paid off his debt, had a significant down payments for his house, and now he's chilling. He doesn't have to work as much as everybody else does.
I agree.
Right? Would you say something similar?
I mean, it changed my life. Like I'm sitting here, like about to open my own private practice. Like the money I'm making from locums, it's like
Which I want to learn more about. By the way,
it's been crazy, right? Because I'm taking a lot of this money from locums and it's pre-tax, which I would not have had the opportunity. It's literally 50% more money almost, right? That you have to play with in the sense of investing into something else, right?
Let's talk about that real quick. Because
Yeah.
I don't know if people, I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what this meant when I first came out. Like, I mean, residency, look, for 8 years, you're like in a time capsule.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going on. You have no idea what's finances
You're living
are.
under a rock.
Under a rock. And
Yeah.
so you're not expected to, and it's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to teach you the game.
Yeah.
So can explain that point. So when you have all this money, like that's kind of pre-tax you can play with, what does that kind of mean? Like, so for example, let's just say, to make it easy, a doctor makes $1 million, which is obviously not common. But like, okay, so if it's not 1099 income, how does that work in terms of being able to use that for like business and other things? Like just general high level, guys, this isn't financial advice. Don't go off of this. Don't like make mistakes and then blame me or this guy. We're just here trying to teach you game. Talk to your CPA, talk to your tax advisor. All right.
Yeah. So I think the biggest play that I did is, and I got lucky. One of my best friends, my cousin Soli, he runs a tax company. Okay, and he's very business savvy. And he was telling me, listen, you're making a lot of money, my guy. Like your next big strategy here is like your taxes.
1099 income. All of it.
Exactly. And we knew my game plan eventually was to start a private practice. And we figured that now that I'm starting this active business, which is a private practice, that I could take my locum money and reinvest it into my private practice, the pre-tax money.
So money that you have in your bank account before it goes to Uncle Sam.
Yep.
You can use that money for business expenses that are legitimate. Like you can't like write off like, some random stuff, like I don't know. But if it's a legit business expense, like stuff for your private practice. I'm sure you had to pay contractors.
Practice expenses, the construction was all right off. the equipment that I need. I have to buy like a $20,000
Specialized stuff?
chemotherapy hood.
Oh, wow. Okay.
To vent it out. So all of that, like I'm reconstructing the office. I'm putting up glass walls and whatnot. All of that is
instead of it going to Uncle Sam right
Exactly.
away and you having zero say
Exactly.
for that or to that, like where that goes.
Exactly.
You're using it to like build something for yourself.
Exactly.
Right. So
Exactly.
see, that's a smart way. Like what I think for
And
any
it feels so much better when you're using pre-tax money.
because it's not your money. It's gonna go. Like it's literally it's either gonna go to Uncle Sam or it's gonna go to some business expense of
Exactly.
yours. So you can spend that and be like,
Yeah, and there's a reason this exists, right? They want you to be entrepreneurial. They want you to
Yes.
start a business and employ other people, right?
yeah, this isn't some scam that we're teaching you guys.
Yeah,
this is
what
legit.
business guys have been doing for forever, right? The medicine guys have just been cocooned away from this.
This is
you
the
know?
tax code in the U.S.
Yeah.
is designed to be advantageous towards businesses.
Yeah.
W-2 people have little to no say.
And this is where white co-investor is like they help a lot, don't get me wrong, but they're doing a big disservice because their tax game is so weak. It's so weak.
Bro, it's the standard stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the same game that literally you can go to any tax or financial advisor and they'll give you the exact same
It's
playbook.
adopted from like a Dave Ramsey situation, and so it's crazy to me that my uncle, he's a physician, and he didn't know anything about short-term rentals, right? Like how you can offset your active
Yes.
income as a doctor.
Yes.
Like he could have saved millions throughout his career, right? And like a lot of the doctors that we talk to now are kind of, the ones that are older than us,
Yes.
are a little bit in denial. They're just
Well, they
like,
kind of feel like, dude, like, I mean, it's kind of hard to admit that.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? And look, I don't blame them because there wasn't as
I
much
don't.
information around.
I don't.
Like
I
it wasn't
think-
as
yeah.
there was. I mean,
Yeah,
there's not as
that's
much
true.
knowledge
That's
around.
true.
I mean, it wasn't as easy to access.
Yeah.
So a doctor who just joined our community, our LocumOS community, he does exactly that. He does short-term rentals.
Yeah.
Like he figured out the game early. He's W-2 and doing some locums on the side.
Yeah.
And he's able to offset some of those the income there, and also use depreciation and do cost segregation studies and all that to reduce his taxable burden. But we can get into a lot of that. What was it that encouraged you to do entrepreneurship in general? I mean, is that something that you knew when you kind of graduated, or even before?
Yeah.
Like, hey, I wanted to be, because that's entrepreneurial. What you're doing,
Yeah.
starting in your own business, it's risky,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because you don't know, there's no guarantees.
Yeah.
Is that risky for you?
I felt like in a way it's kind of like a healthy ego in a way that I feel like I can do it better than you. Like I'm sitting there with all these administrators and they're doing such a terrible job, and I see the gaps. I see
Yes.
how things can be so much more efficient, and it's like, why is there so many layers of you? Why do you guys take so long to take action? Like I could solve this in a day, if even that, and it's taking you guys weeks, if not months.
It's a bureaucracy, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, there's a better way, and I'm just gonna do it myself.
Is that something that you had figured out before? Or it's kind of as you started working, you were like, you know what? I think I'm going to start my own practice.
I've always had a mentality of wanting to kind of run the show in whatever I was doing. So I think it just kind of went into medicine too, a little bit, because I feel like you're always kind of not able to express yourself because you're always having an attending, you're always having a supervisor like right on top of you all the time, right?
You don't have any
Exactly.
avenue for that.
Exactly. And then once you get a little bit of taste of freedom, now you got admin on top of you, right?
Yes.
Like we were always protected
It's gonna beat out of
from
you.
that
Yeah.
as trainees, right?
Yeah.
We were always protected from admin honestly,
yes.
as trainees.
Completely.
But once you're an attending, you realize that now it's
They're
not
your new
another
bosses.
doctor. It's
They're
not
new
a doctor
bosses.
being your supervisor. It's a guy with maybe an MBA with some sort of business
you're lucky.
background, if you're lucky, and that has power over you now. And you can see that they lack a lot of gaps in the from the medicine standpoint. They lack a lot of stuff, and they're trying to translate a lot of what they do in other businesses and how they scale other businesses. They're trying to directly throw it at
Into
medicine.
healthcare, and it don't work.
Yeah, and it doesn't work because you're missing a lot of the human aspect of it. You're missing the medicine aspect of it. It's not
Absolutely.
It's not an assembly line.
It's
you know?
nuanced, dude.
Yeah.
These aren't just data numbers that on a Excel
Exactly.
spreadsheet. Like when you're in the trenches, that's why I think it's so important to have physician entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And physician leadership.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it's doctors. I know a lot of us are, we're tired.
Yeah.
We've done a lot. We've worked. We've reached the mountaintop.
Yeah.
To me, that was base camp.
Yeah.
Like now you're just getting started.
Yeah.
Right. Because or you just basically hang your hat and say, you know what, I'm gonna just survive this for the next 30 years.
Yeah.
And hope
That's what a lot of people are doing.
I hope I don't get
unfortunately.
burnt out. I hope I
Yeah.
can still live a decent life. But at some point, they reach out.
Yeah.
They're just like, this
There's
is not gonna happen.
literally 7-figure businesses showing doctors how to make other money so you can get out of being a doctor.
Yes.
They're selling that idea and making a lot of money telling doctors, hey, let's find you a different way to get out of medicine, basically.
But we are still in medicine.
We are.
We are physician entrepreneurs. I still work 100 hours a month. People probably wouldn't know
Yeah.
that. As a matter of fact, a lot of people don't even know if I'm a doctor, which is interesting. On my social media, but I met with my social media team, and they're like, hey, maybe you should post more pictures of wearing scrubs. I'm like,
that's true. That's true. You're always like,
I'm like, you know, I mean,
he's got a cigar in his smoking a cigar. You know, he looks.
But I was like, you know what? You're right. Because I mean, if I came to my page, like, I wouldn't assume that I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know, okay, maybe I'll wear more scrubs.
That's very true.
So you look forward to some more content of me wearing scrubs.
Yeah.
And that was inspired by you because I saw you wearing all these scrubs. I'm like, I mean, that makes sense. When you see someone wearing scrubs, you don't have to even say anything. You know that they know that you're in healthcare, right?
From my standpoint, I'm honestly just trying to be so.
You just go to work.
I'm just trying to do everything as I go.
My man just working hard at the hospital.
Yeah.
The thing is, I only work 8 days a month.
Yeah.
Like 23 days off, I'm off.
Yeah.
And so I'm not gonna wear scrubs at the house.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't.
No, I'm more in scrubs than anything else because I'm still a young blood here, you know, and I'm coming up and I'm trying to really stack up for this private practice endeavor. So I'm working a lot. And
well,
so
that's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Early on again. You're 10 years younger than me, I'm guessing. What, 40?
I'm 36 at this point.
So about 7 years.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm 11 years into practice after I graduated residency. And I worked hard early on.
Yeah.
Not that hard because actually, after 2 years graduating, after I had graduated and about 2 years later is when I started my own business.
Got you.
So I realized early on. But then, see, the thing about beauty, the beauty aspect of locums is, beautiful aspect of it is like you can customize it for whatever stage in life that you are.
Yeah.
So if I worked hard in the beginning, you can take your foot off the gas and like kind of work less.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw it, but like I took like a 5-week vacation for the third time this year, or fourth time this year.
Yeah.
Because I can stack my shifts in a row as an ER doc. I don't know if there's something similar for oncologists or other specialties. I'm sure you could. But now I have 30 days off in between shifts, bro.
Yeah.
And what does that allow me to do? Family.
Yeah.
People say, "Oh, I don't want to go home away from my family."
Yeah.
Guess who's home more, me or you?
Yeah.
Not you, but I mean like the doctor.
It's the quality time, right?
It's
like
quality.
You can go. You can be right. You can live.
You can come
right
home
next
every
to your
night.
job. Yeah.
You can come home every night, but are you really available?
Are you really there?
Are you really there? You're recovering.
Yeah. And that's where I think it's crazy to me because like my junior fellows, man. I tried to convince them. I was like, listen, guys, I'm showing them pay stubs. I'm like, what are you doing? You have to join this. You have to go and be a locum as an oncologist. The
100%.
market's hot. Take advantage.
Strike while the iron is hot. You don't know how long this is going to last.
Exactly. Well, and then they're like, well, I got kids. My wife works. They had 1,000 excuses, right? And I was like, listen, man, like what I did just now, I finished up a 6-month contract.
Okay.
I made 3x of what my co-fellow did, right? We were working for the same hospital system, by the way.
I see.
Yeah, I'm in NorCal, he's in SoCal.
When you got employed?
He's W-2 and I was a locum.
Yeah.
Right, on my most recent contract. And I made 3x what he did, right? That means literally in 6 months, I made, I think, close to 600, around 600K, right?
In how many? 6 months?
In 6 months.
Not bad.
Yeah, and then
really good.
That's off of one contract, right? I have weekend contracts that I make more money on the side.
Yeah.
But just talking about this one contract and straight up
apples to apples kind of comparison,
comparing
right?
apples to apples because we're in the same system, we work the same amount of days. He made 200,000 in 6 months.
You know what I realize is that there's this new syndrome that's coming around. It's actually being studied right now. It's like doctors are getting allergic to money, and they don't like money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's some research that's being done right now. I'll share the link with you guys. But like, I just don't think doctors like money anymore. They're so like they're so altruistic.
Yeah.
Like
that's
not
a bad thing, right? Because we went in with that thought of like wanting to help.
No, it's not wrong to get paid for what you're doing. This is highly specialized work. What you do for cancer patients, like it's extremely valuable.
Yeah.
And the only value that's going to be attached to that is the value you put on it.
Yeah.
No one else wakes up thinking they're going to give you more money for whatever you're doing, unless you like value yourself up. Because it's
I agree with you.
Look, for me, I've talked to like over the last 10 years, I've been doing this, hundreds and maybe even thousands of doctors. It's a mindset shift that needs to happen. Because this is what happens, bro. And tell me what your perspective is on this. Medical school, undergrad, we're kind of leaving out for this. Medical school and residency, and then fellowship if you're doing fellowship.
Yeah.
You're kind of like in a box, like we said, in a little time capsule. You're told everything what to do, right? When you graduate, you're kind of still in that mindset. You haven't left that mindset all of a sudden. So then you'll take whatever salary because you think that's good. That's what happened to me. I just took like a low-paying salary, which wasn't that great. I took a low-paying locum job because I didn't know what my worth was. And so the idea of starting to like ask for what you deserve, which is maybe a little bit higher than what you're getting normally, it seems like I'm being greedy.
Yeah.
And the admin and the people at the top want you to
greedy.
think that you're being greedy.
Yeah. That happened to me, man. That happened to me. So
Please tell me.
I was in a situation in that 6-month contract that I was stuck in as a W-2. It got to a point where I was doing more than what was the expectation, right?
In terms of?
In terms of, we had 3 providers in the clinic. 1 provider went out. So now 2 providers are covering the patient load of 3, right?
Wow.
And I had a productivity component, but it capped out. And I said, listen, I'm already capping
You're doing
out.
the job of somebody else already.
Yeah.
You got to get paid for that too.
Exactly. So I called my direct supervisor, who was an MBA, and I told her this. I was like, listen, I'm essentially working for free.
Yeah.
At this point, right? And she's like, well, I don't want you to, you shouldn't think of it that way. You know, you're doing your part. We really need your help to take care of these patients. They're really guilty because they know we love patients. They know we love patients.
They're playing on your actual reason why you went into medicine and not solving the problem. It's not your problem. Yeah. It's their problem. Exactly. They're making their problem your problem.
Exactly.
And in no aspect of life should you allow someone to make their problem your problem.
Yeah.
Because they should hire someone.
Exactly.
Or they should pay you double.
Exactly. And the way I looked at it, I was like, listen, I'm getting home later to my family than I was expecting. Yeah. That time is valuable to me, right? I'm at work all day. The time that I have left during the day to spend with family is very important. And that has a value to me. Mm-hmm. This is why I'm asking for you guys to come up and be creative and come up with something. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, they said their hands were tied and couldn't do anything. So
you just saw patients because you had to?
I had to, and I counted down the days until I was out. Yeah, I had my 3-month notice in and just counted down.
Just be a team player, Nuri. Why are you raising all this?
Said that.
Come on, bro. Are you not a team player? What's wrong with you?
They said things happen, you
know,
and
you just got to roll with the punches. See double patients. It's all good. Stay late at night, while the CEO gets home at 3 p.m. every day.
Exactly.
But you got to be the one to be a team player.
Exactly. Nobody could have foreseen the 3rd provider going out. We really need you to hang in there and do your part.
Why is there no backup plan for this stuff? I mean, come on, let's just be honest, bro.
Because it costs money.
Well, look, yeah, it does, but clearly your well-being is not a priority, and even the patients. Because if you had said it would have been within your right because it's not in your contract. Yeah, you could have said, "I'm not doing this. Figure out a way." Yeah, and they would have had to figure that out. Yeah. Right, but you're a good dude and you're a doctor and you actually care about your patients. You wouldn't do that because they're banking on that. But I'm saying and a lot of hospitals that we work with, I always explain to them you need a contingency plan. Yeah,
but they don't. You know why? Because you'll sit there and you'll see. Doctors have said this to me. Well, I'm not gonna let myself get taken advantage of. I'll just say no. I'm not gonna see more than 15. Sure. I'm like, sure. Okay, your patient comes knocking on the door. You're not gonna see him? Doctor so and so. I'm having this complication from the treatment. Can you please see me? Can you please see me? You're gonna say no. No way.
No way. Impossible.
No way.
Yeah.
And that's what they bank on.
Yes.
They're like, listen, you can't let all these people go sick and have complications and get hospitalized. Because then you also think okay, first off, this is number 1 priority is taking care of my patients. Number 2, there's malpractice risk. There's a lot of things going on.
Burnout risk.
Exactly.
Personal health issues.
So they know
family issues. Your interpersonal relationships can suffer as a result.
They know this and they don't care. And they know you're going to show up no matter what.
Yeah. And I think that's a dangerous, again, about doctors, honestly, man, about valuing yourself. Yeah. And it's okay to be selfish in this sense. And I'm not saying you don't see that patient that's at your door. Yeah. You see that patient. Yeah. But you tell that administrator at night, I'm not seeing anything more than what my contract is. Yeah. And if anybody has to be not seen as a result, that's on you. Yeah. This is what my contract says. I mean, because they'll pull contract stuff on you too if you're not abiding by your contract, right? Yeah. If you're not seeing enough patients or whatever. Yeah. They'll pull the contract and say, hey, why aren't you seeing as many patients? They'll do that. Yeah. If you're not showing up. Yeah. But now why can't you do that when they're throwing more on your plate than what the contract says? Yeah. Right? And so it's really just starting to rise and start valuing ourselves, right? As doctors. I think this idea, because we've been in sort of student, like an apprentice mode.
Yeah, I was about to say the same.
You're like an apprentice mode for your, this whole time. And all of a sudden, you don't realize when you graduate, you are now a hot commodity. Yeah. They need you more than you need them. Yeah. Meaning the admin in the hospitals. I realized that,
yeah. When I was interviewing, man, the place I went to was semi-rural. I was like a celebrity, dude. The way everybody was treating me initially.
Oh, you mean locums?
No, as
for your W2 job.
Full-time. Yeah. And I was like a celebrity. Everybody knew me. They were showing me around to the whole community. But at the end of the day, when things got busy, it was the same kind of routine, Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I would say if you are gonna go that hospital route and be employed, being in a rural area, you have a better shot at being hopefully happier, but it's not guaranteed, Yeah. And one thing I keep pushing to a lot of my followers is we all got to go back to private practice. right? There's no more admin. Admin is like
Talk to
literally
me more about that.
Yeah,
please.
I feel like admin is like literally one of the biggest pain points for doctors and how we practice, right?
And inhibitor / ceiling, like preventing you from doing what you want to do. And don't lean into that a little bit more.
Exactly. So I feel like, you know, a lot of them don't know what they're doing, right? So imagine my utopia of medicine is every doctor is running their own private practice and they're working together, right? And when they see certain issues, it's like you almost have a general at each clinic, right? And that general is the physician.
Yep.
They know it inside and out, right? They know who the good employees are. They know who the bad ones are. They know how to recognize the ones who are going above and beyond and compensate them.
Yep.
When you have layers of administration, you are missing these amazing employees.
Yeah.
And you're having turnover of this administration, that administration layer. What this person's been doing for the last 5 years goes completely like,
under the radar, no one
under
knows.
the radar, and they feel like, well, hell, everything I put in, that one manager that knew me really well is gone, retired.
Yes.
And now it's like I'm starting from scratch. Like I put so much into this
Yeah.
business. And that's where you see employees getting burnt out. And that's where you see this turnover where they go to different hospitals and stuff. Like in private practices, when you see somebody who's very crucial to your clinic, you're going to take care of them.
Yes. There's a smaller like pool of people to take care of.
Exactly.
And you're in charge.
And there's no layers. You are the one and only layer, you know? So,
are you seeing in your experience like doctors kind of going into like private practice more and taking more initiative on that? Is that
I feel like the idea was, or something's been cooked into all of our heads that private practice is dead.
Yes.
And so I think this new generation of doctors, they're very different, right? And a lot of them are more entrepreneurial, I'll say. And they're willing to take the risk in trying private practice, I feel like. It's still a very, very small amount, though. Don't get me wrong. Like that general consensus of like, hey, private practice is dead, go get an employed job is like the route for most people.
Most people, yeah.
But I think that's what I'm trying to change. And I think, honestly, the more of us that go into private practice, the better it gets for everybody else. And it gets easier and easier. The more entries you get into private practice, the easier it gets.
Because what's the worst case scenario? You can still work some locum shifts.
Yeah.
Still make a... You know, when I started doing locums, people were like, dude, you're so like... You know, kind of like you're venturing off somewhere without your cell phone and like going into uncharted territory. I'm like, guys, I mean, worst case scenario, I just pick up another job. I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of opportunities. That literally... Our inboxes are flooded. Yeah. So what is the risk here? At first, I was like kind of feeling good about myself, like, oh, I'm taking a risk. I'm like, wait a minute, this is not real. I have to be real with myself. I'm making more money. I have more time. And the worst case scenario, I can go back to taking another W-2 job or like just stack up a couple locum jobs. Yeah. Like, there's zero risk.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. As a doctor, you're always going to have a job lined up.
Yeah, there's certain specialties that I think are more conducive to like locums. Like again, the ones you mentioned earlier. Hospitalists right now, not so, the primary care, I think, kind of gets screwed over a little bit on the inability to have locums, but they could do their private practice.
I think locums exist for primary care and they get paid probably a little bit more. It's not like an extravagant difference between like in oncology per se, but you still have those benefits, right? It's like the pre-tax money you get to play with, and you can go set up your own concierge. There you go. Primary care. You can set up your own private practice primary care, whatever you want to do. I think that's the way you play it. I think for me, locums, I'm using like as a big part of how I'm practicing. I think I'll always say as some sort of a hybrid. Yeah. I'll always do a few days of locums, and I'll always have my private practice.
Locums is leverage.
It is.
Right? Gives you leverage to create and do things outside. Now, did you have a business background like growing up? Or
not really, to be honest with you. I was always hustling since I was a kid because my parents.
You're a hustler.
Yeah, we came in the 80s. Yeah, we came in the 80s, and my parents were older at the time they came to the U.S. So
I see.
They were doing their best. My dad was a taxi cab driver and had his own company, of course, but we were still barely getting by. Yeah. So as soon as I was old enough to hustle, I was hustling because I felt so guilty taking $1 from my dad because I knew he was working hard for it, Yep. So I think that sort of mentality coming up like we did plays a big role in why I don't take good contracts lightly. Like when I see an opportunity to strike, I strike, right? Like
you got to move quickly.
Exactly. When you're seeing the local market this hot for oncology, you got to take advantage. Yeah. And like my co-fellows, I know they didn't grow up like me, right? So they grew up a lot more comfortable, and they don't see some of these things and how big of a difference that can make in your life. Yeah. And so I think a lot of my buddy said it best. He's like, a lot of these guys that we went to medical school with are asking like, how are you doing it? How are you doing it? How are you pulling this off? And he's like, even if I tell them exactly what you did, they can't replicate exactly what you did because you just came from that background of like needing to survive, That's a little bit dramatic, but what I'm trying to say is like, we suffered a little bit,
Yeah.
right? So once you've suffered a little bit, you
It
really
creates a different drive in you.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So you have that mindset, and you just go all out, man.
Yeah.
And like I don't get tired when I'm working. I can keep stacking shifts. I don't get burnt out.
Yeah, I see that. I
Like,
see that. You're always working, bro.
exactly, and because I have so many people to take care of, right? Like my parents deserve like an amazing life. A lot of people around me deserve an amazing life, and I feel like I'm able to provide that to them. Thank God, you know, because of locums.
You have this huge opportunity in front of
Yeah.
you. It would be a disservice to the people that you love
Exactly,
to not take it.
exactly.
It would be lazy of you.
Exactly.
Right? Is that how you kind of
Yeah.
see it? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, for me, like I was fortunate that I didn't have a very, I mean, we went through ups and downs, of course, but largely my life was relatively straightforward and easy. It hit me 2 years after when I graduated residency because I had no desire to start a business. I thought
Yeah.
like I was going to reach the mountaintop
Yeah.
and then I'd just live happily ever after, right? That type of
Yeah.
thing. And then it got to base camp. I'm like, damn, like this kind of sucks. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, the taxes and all this stuff. And my
Yeah.
life was I was working erratic schedules all over the
Yeah.
place because you're the new graduate, so they just give you like the crappy schedule.
Yeah.
The thing that hit me was when I realized if I can't do this for like another 30 years
Yeah.
full time. I mean, I looked around me and I saw the attendings and I just looked at their lives. I'm like, they're just clocking in, clocking out,
Yeah.
and just kind of, you know, trying to make family events when they can, but their schedule's all over the place too. And I'm like,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
if I had this like moment of panic. I'm like, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
I have zero business background. You're so one dimensional when you graduate because unless
Yeah.
you did something else before that is something that you can use to like, you know, leverage.
Yeah.
As a doctor, you're just a doctor.
Yeah.
Like there's not, you know, you haven't learned
Yeah.
AI, you haven't learned freaking sales or marketing, all that stuff.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you're pretty, like you're very niched. And so I just had to figure out, like I was desperate. I'm like, I
Yeah.
got to figure a way out of this. I mean, some way, there has to be a way.
Yeah. But I feel like all of us went through that gauntlet of residency and medical school. Like, if you want to do something, you can do it. Like, even if you have no
Yes.
experience in it, if
Yes.
nobody even taught you anything, you can learn it yourself. If you're willing to like open your mind up and say, I can do this. I went through residency.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people can say they went through a residency. You
Good
know?
point.
And we're all way better people for it. If
Yes.
you've made it to the other side, like I think I'm such a better version of myself after I went through medical school, residency training, and I think I'm just a completely different person. I can't imagine what kind of person I would be without that.
It
type of
hardens
training.
you up a bit, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it definitely
you
hardens
got
you up.
battle wounds, scars,
Battle
and things like
scars,
that
for
for
sure.
sure. I mean, I know that for myself, exactly. I say the same thing. Like, I think I'd be a lot softer.
Yeah.
If I didn't
Yeah,
go
yeah,
through the
easy.
gauntlet of just med school
Easy.
and just getting the grind and doing
Yeah.
30-hour shifts every third day for
Yeah.
traumas. And, you know, like just,
Yeah.
you know, now I think back, I'm just like, dude, that's like PTSD thinking
Yeah.
about those days. I need, you know, it is like when you start thinking about like, how
Yeah.
the heck did I do that? But,
Yeah.
you know, I think we're better people as a result. And so,
Yeah,
the-
I was
but
like
the-
a boy, and then when I landed in the Caribbean, where I went to medical school,
Where'd you go?
I became a man out there.
yeah, I mean,
I was
you're
running out of
forced-
water. I was sleeping on the floor because I had no money to pay for anything. You know, it was bad. And then third world country on top of that,
Yeah.
so that hardened me up pretty
Which
quick.
school did you go to?
I went to American University of Antigua.
Okay.
In
yes.
Antigua,
AUA,
yeah.
I think it was.
AUA, yeah.
I was at Ross. Yeah. So Caribbean people have even an additional layer of hardship to go through, bro.
Yeah.
It's not. It's like, yeah. It was an interesting experience for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to lean into more about kind of your social media. Like, why did you start
Yeah.
that? What was the inspiration behind that? And you know, kind of where it is now and how it's going.
Yeah. I think there was something I saw one of the influencers when I was like scrolling on Instagram, and they're like, if you're driving a Lamborghini and you don't share it with the world, meaning if you don't like make it kind of a point of conversation, you're kind of losing out on the networking aspect of it, right? That was one thing. That wasn't what spurred it off, but I thought, yeah, I'm doing something a little interesting. I'm like,
Yeah.
how many doctors do you know out there like dailying a Lambo, you know?
Aventador at that.
And yeah.
I mean, I have a Urus, which is a daily driver. You know what I mean? But an Aventador S, not your traditional daily driver.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah. And then I don't know how it spurred off, but I had this thing where a lot of my junior fellows were asking me for advice, and I would give them advice. And I'm like, man, it's kind of crazy how big of a deficit of knowledge there is in the jump from training to real world, you know? And so I started helping them out, and then I made a couple of reels, and some of my co-fellows thought they hit, you know? They're like, dude, we actually see potential here. You could probably actually do something with social media. And so I just started kind of, you know, putting game out there of like, you know, what I would say to my junior fellows.
Yes.
And then it started catching on, and I just kept dropping more stuff. And, you know, as I learned through, you know, the real world, I was kind of sharing the information, and it started kind of snowballing. I all of a sudden was starting getting followers, you know, I was sharing part of my life and in the supercar scene, you know, and that caught a lot of attention too. And I think I was just opening eyes to people that there's other ways to practice medicine and enjoy your life as you do it. A lot of folks were expecting this guy's gonna go hide in another another cave of sorts and hog all his money and do the WCI route, and no, this guy's living his life, and that's what we want to do too,
And there's nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you've earned literally every single penny that you made, and to actually have some enjoyment and before you're 65 there's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, it's weird to have to wait.
Yeah.
I mean, we already waited 10 years.
Yeah,
right?
the idea of delayed gratification continuing, and
yes,
doctors are so okay with it. Okay, you're done with training now. Save up every penny, because do this another 3, 5, 10 years even, and then your life will be ready, right? By then you forget how to live, man. Like
then you're old and you got back pain and you got other stuff. You don't want to get into a supercar. You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
It's like, dude, the time to enjoy this stuff is when you're young.
So my colleague at the time, when I bought the Lamborghini, he came out to sit in and he couldn't get out of the car. And I was like, see, if I would have waited 10 more years, I would not be able to sit in this car.
Do not wait to get your Lamborghini. You never know which back pain you're going to have when your leg starts to hurt or whatever. And then you can't get into it.
Yeah, man.
Unless it's yours. But yeah, so my first sports car when I got out of residency wasn't a Lambo. It was a Jaguar F-Type.
Nice.
F-Type R. So, V8, 550 horsepower. I remember I drove it to work, and I remember getting all these weird looks and kind of comments from some of them, not all, but a few of the attendings there. And I thought that was just weird. Kind of like alluding to, that's not a good financial decision.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
And I'm like, what the hell do you know about my finances? Like, I mean, why would you even care?
Yeah.
Just because you choose to drive a beat up car from 20 years ago, which, look, I'm not hating on that.
Yeah.
I could easily do, but I don't. I mean, that's your thing.
Yeah.
Like, why would you kind of have any sort of feeling about what I'm driving?
Yeah,
you know? It's just like this. Haters is something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
A lot of the hate that I feel like doctors like yourself and maybe people who are kind of more successful and figured things out.
Yeah.
Obviously, the overwhelming percent of part of it is positive, I feel like.
Yeah.
But there's a few haters, and oftentimes they're physicians or people who are kind of in a similar.
Most of the time it's physicians, I feel like.
Have you seen that as well? Why do you think?
I don't know, because I was actually taken aback a bit because I did that interview with American Income that went.
What is that one?
It's a guy who's
that's in Vegas, I think you were something?
Yeah, I was in Vegas, yeah.
Standing outside and he was asking you some questions
about. So
that one kind of went viral, I think.
Yeah, so they're known for asking people what they do for a living, right?
Yeah.
And so I did that interview with him, and then I was kind of shocked to see the comments. A lot of comments were saying he's lying through his teeth.
Yes, I just saw some of those.
Exactly. There's no way he's making that kind of money. There were just so many crazy comments, and I actually stopped looking at him because I was like, holy hell, I was not expecting this,
Yes.
And it hurts to be called a liar, to be honest. You know, anybody that knows me knows I don't lie about anything. I'm a very honest guy, and it's a little bit hit to your ego in a way, or like not even your ego, but it just
hurts.
It hurt.
It's like,
I felt that here. If I'm being honest with you, I was like, shit, maybe I shouldn't have done that interview.
Yeah.
Because I didn't like that look. But then I got over it like after a week or two, and I was like, you know what? I'm actually doing something so crazy that people can't even believe. And so it just pushed me to keep putting out content. It's like, listen, here's proof. I was dropping pay stubs. I was dropping bank deposits. I was like, you guys can call the locum company, man. This is easy, verifiable stuff.
Haters are proof that you're doing something good.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have haters, you're not being like,
you're not disrupting the system enough.
You're not disrupting, and no one cares. Like if you're not doing it, if you're doing it right, some people, a small percentage of people are gonna hate what you're doing, and they're like the vocal ones anyway.
The most love I get, honestly, is from medical students
and residents.
Residents.
Yeah.
And people around my time, right? Like people who are currently first year attending, just like
not
me.
The 10 years out, 15 years out.
The ones that are 5, 10 years out are very judgmental.
They don't believe you, first of all.
They don't believe you. They think I'm like, I don't know, like some rebel in the system that doesn't belong,
Like, who are you trying to change this? Like,
exactly.
we did things old ways, so why should we do this,
Exactly. And I think they're kind of faced with, their decisions, like, hey, why didn't we think of it? Why? But that's the crazy. I'm trying to help you all out.
You could still do it.
Yeah, you could still do it. Exactly.
A funny story. I mean, every time we're talking, as you're talking, I have like 10 different things I want to go off on, but I don't forget. But one of the hospitals that
how have we not met earlier, man?
We got to do more of this stuff,
This is just so natural.
Seriously, I'm saying we should be doing this weekly.
Yeah.
So we're staffing a site. I won't say where. And the doctors, because I have a locum company, right?
Yeah.
And Locums United, and we were paying our doctors very well. Like for ER, 375 is really good.
That's high.
That's high.
Yeah.
Almost anesthesia money.
Yeah.
And so we sent several doctors to the site, and some of the doctors that were employed there found out because I post on Facebook, on social media, people saw it.
Oh, yeah.
So they're now taking my ad and showing people around. They're like, "Oh my God, look how much these locum doctors are making," and it gets to the director.
Oh.
So now this could be a problem for me, right? I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this could, most sometimes that can cause a problem for me
Yeah.
as a staffing company and be like, hey man, you got to tell your doctors like stop. But it wasn't them. It was just the fact that the job was out there. I put it out there.
Yeah.
And so, but she's a physician and she's like, you know what? All these doctors that came to her complaining, well, why are you giving these doctors so much money? Why don't you just pay us and we'll work more?
Yeah.
Sounds kind of reasonable until you figure out, like guys, locum doctors don't get paid any sort of benefits.
Yeah.
They're not sleeping in their bed. They're away from their families for sometimes weeks at a time.
Yeah.
They're not eating their own food. It's just like, this is the 1099 model. Like there's a sacrifice that they're making to get here to work in some place that they don't even live.
Yeah.
And work here. So like, if you want to do this, you go do locums. I was like, dude, that was on a mic drop. And guess what?
Yeah.
None of them did it.
Yeah.
Because they can talk all this, but like they're not about it. They just want to talk smack. Like, well, I want to look. They want their cake and they want to eat it too.
Yeah.
You sacrifice by going out to LA and having to work in places that like you're not familiar with. I've had to sacrifice traveling, staying away from home for weeks at a time, not seeing my family. You know what I mean? Not sleeping in my bed, having random people at the hotel making noise till like whatever. It's just, it's not your environment. You're going out of your environment, comfort zone.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Most doctors want to be in their comfort zone and still get paid.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't work like that, guys.
Yeah.
Right? You have to kind of get out of that. Like, there's always a give and take for everything.
Yeah.
People don't realize this. Like the perfect scenario is me and you sit here, $1 million gets into our bank accounts every week without us having to do anything.
Yeah.
That's the perfect scenario. It's not happening. Okay. The next best case is like, okay, well, if you're gonna be an employee, yes, you get to live at home.
Yeah.
But guess what? You're a W-2 and you're not gonna get paid well.
Yeah.
That's the compromise.
Yeah.
Or you take a 1099 job and we get paid a lot more. You use that money for taxes to like on your business or whatever. But guess what? You have to travel a little bit.
Yeah.
It's about give and take.
Yeah.
Everything is.
Yeah.
Right? And so
there are some hacks in terms of like the traveling aspect, right? Because I haven't had to travel yet.
You're lucky.
Doctor.
You're lucky. I don't know how you pull that off. I mean, I guess oncology is just so much in demand that you can pretty much walk.
I think it's specialty dependent. I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's an expectation when you go into locum.
No.
So I can sit in one spot. No. I think there are some hacks in terms of, okay, you have to have the right specialty. Second, you have to be in a location where there's multiple hospitals within 90 minutes. Yeah. So that's where kind of I am in Northern California.
Perfect.
I feel like I have like multiple hospital situations.
Well.
Yeah. So I don't need to travel, I think, for like
meaning you don't have to get on
future.
you don't have to get on a plane.
I don't have to get a plane. But now, for a lot of people, they wouldn't even do this though. Like my next assignment is 90 minutes away, one way. Right?
It's like 3 hours of round trip. Yeah, that's a lot.
A lot of folks would be like, hell no, I'm not going to commute like that. Me, I'm like, I can't wait to take the Lambo 90 minutes.
For you, it's going to be 45 minutes each way, essentially, right?
For me, I was like, I can't wait to take the
Batman's
Lambo
going to save Gotham City right here.
Man. And I was like, thank God I have all these damn cars. Now I can rotate through them and I can spread the mileage around. It's not a big deal.
There you go.
But I think if you're creative, if you're open, you could potentially pull off something like I'm pulling off too. You can't, like you said, have your cake and eat it too type of thing, right? You're gonna have to make some sort of sacrifices, but if you're willing to do it, it's the I guess the reward is multiples of what you would do in an employee situation.
Exactly, and like for me, for example, I drive 2.5 hours away from home.
Yeah,
it's in Delaware. I live in Pennsylvania. I drive to Delaware. I stay there for 7 or 8 days in a row. Then I go home.
Yeah,
and I'm not home. I don't get to see my son for those days. But like when I get back, I'm off for a month.
Yeah.
Right, like and I drive there in my Urus.
Yeah,
that's my company car.
Yeah,
right, and it's all good.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's just like look again, give and take. Yeah, and it's you got to sacrifice a little bit to get a little bit back, right?
Yeah,
or get a lot in return. And for me, I was just talking to Julius here. Is like I can't imagine like where I would be if this concept of locums didn't exist.
Yeah, I feel like honestly every ER doctor should be a locum. Yeah.
One of our good friends, my friend Francis, he's a real estate mogul, you could say, in Philly. He knows what I'm doing and stuff, right? And we went out to dinner, like after our conference. He was joining us for dinner, myself, my team, and he's like, "Wait, Ali, I have a question. On, like, why don't all ER doctors just do locums?"
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah.
He's a real estate guy. He sees my content. He's like, well, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
My imam, who I grew up with, who's like the religious scholar, he's like, he knows what locums is now. Yeah. He's like, Ali, why don't everybody just do locums? I mean, you sold me on it. Like, I'll do locums if I could.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's just a no-brainer.
Yeah, I agree. Like, once you go locums, you won't go back. Like, it's really true.
So much so, bro. Yeah. During COVID, you were probably still in training.
I was.
During COVID, I was about 5 years out, and the job market tanked for locums. Because no one was going to the hospital, especially the ERs. Everybody thought they were going to die if they go to the ER and stuff. And so we were the first to get cut. So my we took a big hit on that during that time, and those 4 months where I had 0 shifts,
Wow.
no income
Yeah.
from my primary source of income, and the company tanked because like no one was using our company for staffing because just they were like we're cutting excess staff. Even full-time employees, some of them got their salaries cut, right?
Wow.
Because things were going down and no surgeries were taking place, and so the hospitals were losing a lot of revenue. And I remember that time I was getting offered a full-time job at another site that I was kind of working a couple of shifts, had worked a couple of shifts for, and they're like, "Hey, if you want to work with us full-time, we can take you on."
Yeah.
And I refused.
Yeah.
I legit would rather just drive Uber, bro.
Yeah.
Then I'm not. I promise you, I will never. Go, I hope God doesn't put me in a position where I have to do this.
Yeah.
But like, out of my own will, I will never go back to being a W-2 employee. I just literally cannot do it anymore. And then that was the time where I needed the money.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I was, I had like hundreds of $1,000s saved up. I mean, I was investing all of my money, so I didn't have any cash flow coming in. Luckily, I was able to use some money into the stocks and make up some money during that time, and enough to kind of pay my bills and stuff. But like, that's how serious for me it is. Because once you've tasted freedom, you've heard of Rumi, obviously, Rumi the poet from like hundreds of years ago, Jalaluddin Rumi.
No,
you ever heard of Rumi?
No.
Oh, bro, come on. All right, I gotta get you. I'll get you a book.
Okay.
It's a very inspirational. But Rumi is a famous poet from I want to say Persia. He might have been in Afghanistan, but from like hundreds of years ago. And there's this poem, little snippet from the poem that he says like, "Why do you choose to stay in a prison when the door is wide open?"
Yeah.
We've been in a prison our entire like medical career, like medical school, residency, and fellowship. And then the door gets wide open, but you've lived here for so long, you're too afraid.
Yeah.
But if you put a bird that's outside flying in free, when you throw it into a cage, the moment you open that cage again, it's gonna fly right out because all it knows is freedom.
Yeah.
But you've been raised in this mental prison where you're just so comfortable here that you don't want to leave, even if the door's wide open.
Yeah.
Like, and me and you were like, "Hey guys, it's kind of nice out here.
Yeah.
You may want to check it out. We're here. We were in that prison. We came out.
Yeah.
Come here. Like, it's okay. We've done it." Right?
Yeah.
I mean, is that kind of like how you see like the mindset issues?
I do, especially with like I said, my junior fellows, I feel like are the same thing. I feel like the easiest way to overcome that is to try a locum weekend shift.
Just try it out.
Yeah, pick up one on your admin day when you're working, Monday through Thursday, pick up a Friday clinic, whatever your situation is, give it a shot and you'll be very surprised.
Yeah, that's what I tell docs too. Like, worst case scenario, just do it for 6 months.
Yeah.
3-4 shifts a month as an ER doc. Worst case scenario, you walk away with like 50 to 70 grand.
Yeah.
And best case scenario, it changes the entire trajectory of your life.
Agree.
Right? And so there's no added risk to this. It's just experiment. We're scientists.
Yeah.
Experiment with this.
Yeah,
this is your career. Just try it out. Maybe your family's not all for it, but hey, just say a couple days a month. I'm just gonna try this out, right?
Yeah, I think that's the easiest way. Just a couple days a month, try it out, and
it's
then
not all or nothing.
Yeah,
but you can totally try before you buy.
Agree.
Right?
Agree. I'm getting so many DMs, right? And a lot of people are asking for help. A lot of folks from training are calling me and saying, "Yo, how can I do what you're doing?" And I'm helping them out, but at some point, I'm running out of time myself because I have so much on my plate.
Yeah,
I have so much on my plate. I'm trying to set up this private practice. I'm doing my own shifts. I have to spend time with family. And at some point, I honestly gave up on looking at my DMs because they were just flooding in.
Yeah.
And, I had some friends who were kind of in the social media game and said, why don't you just, provide
this value
to people and we
at scale.
Yeah, at scale.
Yeah.
And it's risky for me, right? Because as when you're a social media presence, word gets around, and I had a contract actually pulled from me.
Oh,
yeah, because of my social media presence.
We did too.
Yeah,
we got a big contract management group.
Yeah,
that pulled our contract and is ghosting us now because they see me as a threat.
Yeah,
I'm coming after you.
Yeah,
you know who you are.
Yeah, and people think that's not the case, right? And they're like, there's a risk I'm taking on by being on social media, right? And anybody that denies that doesn't understand.
Yeah.
And so for me to continue to stay on social media and, provide value, there are days where I sit there and say, hey, I'm just going to shut it off. Like, it's just not worth the hate I get from people who don't know medicine, thinking I'm making too much. Other older doctors just, sending shade my way every day.
Bro, you're Afghan. You got thick skin. Yeah. Come on, bro.
There's days where I honestly do think of cutting it off, right? And but I've always had this mission of like, of being, I guess, rebellious, but I see that there's a problem in the system, right? Yes. And I want to break it. right? And you need help to break it. You can't break it yourself. So there has to be some sort of movement where, you know, a lot of the younger generation and the newer generation of doctors, even the old heads, hey, if they can switch up their thought process and say, hey, we're capable of taking over medicine again, getting it out of the suit's hands, and we can run it 10 times better. Like my utopia, like I told you about with the general at each clinic, being the doctor and running the show, like that's the way to do it. You have so much power with insurance companies. You have so much leverage with different hospitals.
Do you, as an independent practice, because one of the things that I thought about independent like groups or practices is that you have less leverage with insurance companies in terms of like just getting, you know, the rates and all that and the reimbursements.
That could be true, but the way I set myself up is I'm in an area where there's a big need.
Okay.
Not much competition, and the competition that's there is very weak.
I see.
Yeah, meaning they're doing a terrible job of keeping doctors. Nobody wants to work there. Gotcha. Patients are waiting months and months for appointments. So in my situation, it's an easy take.
Gotcha.
And it's beneficial for the patients, obviously, and then it's beneficial for me too.
So you're in a very competitive market, or not very competitive market. Listen, guys, you don't have to be a hospital employee.
Yeah.
Most subspecialists are hospitalist employees.
Yeah.
Or employees. So you're teaching the game is like, listen, it doesn't have to be this way. You can regain control. You can regain autonomy. And it's different when it's yours.
Yeah.
When it's your own clinic, like, you know, when I started my own business, there's a different level of dedication and passion.
I'm telling patients, like, you should go to a clinic where the doctor runs that clinic and owns that clinic. Why?
Because they care.
He's gonna care about it 10 times more. Your experience as a patient, like, it will actually be very noted. Like, they will do everything they can to improve your experience.
Yeah.
When you're going to a hospital-based system, you are coming in, but there's so many layers to where the people at top don't know what your experience was like coming through the door.
Right.
That doctor is in the office right next door into the waiting room. He knows exactly what your experience is like as soon as you open the door. I was like, I myself am only going to private practice doctors.
So it's more high touch, more personal, and more like, I mean, you can control the number of patients that you see as well. So you're not being bombarded and having to see one patient every 2 minutes.
And then your feedback as a patient too to the hospital staff is like, it gets noted. You know, they're not going to just ignore it.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it works both ways, both for the provider and the patients.
So that's beautiful, bro. I mean, I think that the idea of this, I think essentially what I've been doing for the last 8 years since I launched my company is showing doctors that the principle is the same.
Yeah.
You don't have to rely on the suits, on admin, on anyone to have a more fulfilling career and actually have more control over your life and your schedule.
Yeah.
Is that essentially what?
Exactly.
Right?
And then what I'm doing is, because I know there is this hesitation to jump fully locums or fully private practice. I know a lot of guys are doing hybrid because I started in that kind of mindset. I started kind of out as like a hybrid. I was doing locums. I was doing, you know, my W-2 thing. And then I jumped into private practice and I'm doing full-time locums. I'm like, I'm going to give you literally everything you need to know from that moment you're in your last year of training to the real world, in the sense of like, how do I understand my contracts? What do I even look into my contracts? Fine, you want to be a community doctor? That's fine. I'm an employed doctor. Let's make sure you don't get screwed, though. Let's make sure you have an out like I did. I knew exactly how to get out. Let's make sure you understand how to get out without hits.
Yeah.
You know, all the red flags.
Avoid the mistakes that you could cost you potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because you're there. You've done it, right? And I think that's exactly like, I mean, we have so many parallels. It's like,
it's crazy. That's why I'm shocked.
This is exciting because like there's no one else doing what we're doing.
No.
As far as I know. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm mistaken, but this idea that you're trying to avoid. So when I talk to residents, after they graduate, bro, like they've been handheld the entire way up to that day that they graduate. And now they're like, now what?
Yeah.
Not only in terms of just a career, of course. I mean, because they've been taught how to be a clinician, not have a successful career. Difference.
And their mentors are all in the system.
They're all academics.
As you say, they're all in the matrix.
They're in the matrix.
Yeah.
They're agents of the matrix. Literally, they're discouraging their residents from doing locums. So hundreds of residents came up to me. They're like, listen, our attendings say I shouldn't do locums because they're dumpster fire sites and this and that and the other. I'm like, ask them one question. How many locum shifts have they done?
Yeah.
None. Come on, bro.
Yeah.
They're agents. Agent Smith from Matrix, bro. You know what I mean? Like they're everywhere.
I interviewed for a locum gig and they're like, "What are you doing as a locum? You should be like, you should be one of us. Let's just hire you. What are you doing this locum stuff for? We'll offer you a contract right now."
You know what you should have asked him? What color is your Lambo?
There's a couple more contracts on that.
Oh man, we're having too much fun here. Cool, but like again, I think look, it has to come from us.
Yeah.
For me, I'll be honest with you. Like I hate social media. I was telling you earlier.
Yeah.
I don't want to say I hate. I dislike being on social media personally. I'm a very private person.
Yeah.
No one knows about my personal life.
Yeah.
I just like to grow my businesses, travel, have fun with my family, and just like, that's what I do. But the feedback that I'm getting is like forcing me to do like this in terms of, because I feel like if I don't do this, I've been doing disservice to my colleagues.
Yeah.
People who went basically me 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, and there's hundreds and thousands of them out there who were in my situation when I first graduated, who had no idea what to do. Right? So if their attendings aren't teaching them, where are they getting this information from?
Yeah.
I made almost $250,000 worth of mistakes in my first 5 years, not knowing what I was doing, bro. Just trying to figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
I figured it out eventually.
Yeah.
It cost me a lot of money.
Yeah.
Right? And so, through LocumOS, we're trying to teach you how to avoid the mistakes that could be made that could cost you several hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Easily.
Right? And this idea I want to get into as well. I think doctors have a hard time once they graduated, because they have like $400,000 worth of like, loans to pay off in many cases. They feel like now everything should be just free. Like they can just, everything's free now. I mean, if I want a mentor, I can get them for free. If I want to do this, like everything should just be free now.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I've spent personally more than $50,000 in the last 2 years investing in myself.
Yeah.
Like mentors on teaching me how to scale my businesses, how to build a personal brand, how to become a key person of influence in my space, writing a book.
Yeah.
I've paid $50,000 invested. Sorry, not paid. I've invested $50,000 in myself.
Yeah.
So, because like everything that I do now is ROI.
Yeah.
Return on investment.
Yeah.
So I know very clearly if I'm buying something that there's going to be zero return.
Yeah.
Right? Which I do very rarely of.
Yeah.
But if I invest in myself, I'm buying myself time.
Yeah.
So instead of me trying to spend 5 years trying to figure out, hey, how do I build a personal brand? I'm going to pay someone $25,000 and be like, hey, show me.
Yeah.
Within like a few months.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
I understand.
Have you kind of seen that as well? Like in your experience, like I think I see some of your posts where I think people have a hard time parting with money once they graduate because they feel like, oh my God, that's just another expense.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's not. It's your investment in yourself to buy time.
Yeah.
You've already lost 10 years, guys. You don't have the rest of your life to figure things out on your own.
Yeah.
Pay a professional and figure things out if that's the path you want to go. Make sure that the values align and that the messaging or the products that are being offered or the services are what you actually need.
Yeah.
Whether it's us, whether it's for social media, whether it's for real estate.
Yeah.
Like find a professional who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Pay them.
Yeah.
Because your time is the most valuable asset that you have that you'll never get back.
Yeah.
So I'm willing to pay a lot of money for my time.
Yeah.
Your network is your net worth.
Exactly.
I know it's kind of cliche, but it's actually real.
Yeah.
And you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're hanging around, this is one thing I do, bro. Is like I don't hang out with other doctors unless they're entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Most doctors, their only colleagues of people that they know are the doctors.
Yeah.
And how are you going to level up and get to the stages in life that you want to go to if you're just hanging around with people who are at your level in a way? Unless you're trying to figure something out together, which is cool, right? And so the goal is to create a network of people that are like-minded and have aspirations of doing great things because that's what I want to be around.
Yeah.
I want to be around people who have fire in their eyes.
Yeah.
When I look at them, they say, I want to win.
Yeah.
Not like by a doctor who's just sitting there is like,
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do I have to travel? Oh, I don't want to travel. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah. So like in our forum, right? Like there'll be literally forums where, you can discuss how do I take off my private practice. And there'll be guys who are successful giving you game on it, giving you tips.
Go.
Why would they do that, right? Because we're not competition in private practice.
No.
We are literally needing each other, right?
Yes.
I need a primary care doctor to refer to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I need the radiation oncologist needs me to refer to them. The breast surgeon we need each other.
There's no like we can work together.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
We're not cannibalizing each other. The market is so massive in the States.
Exactly.
Where there's
stop the scarcity mindset. There's an abundance of everything if you're willing to look at it that way.
Absolutely.
There's room for everybody to eat at the table. So the other thing is when everybody goes into private practice, we're all pissed off at medicine right now because we don't have control, right? How do you get control is when the patients are coming to you. Everything is you, right?
Yeah.
In private practices, you have a say over the insurances, the payers. You have a say over so many other things, and the policies, healthcare policies. Why? Because you're the one providing the service.
Yeah.
If you're taking care of 90% of the population, you're going to have a say in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to just being passive in the entire process.
Exactly.
And being told what to do and what the protocols are because you have no input.
Exactly.
And then you feel like a cog in the wheel, which is what I hear a lot of.
Private equity is taking over medicine. If we don't do something now, we're screwed.
And I write in my book that locums is like an informal union. Doctors talk about union. No one's actually going to do anything. So, just stop talking.
Yeah.
But the way to actually build an informal union, I think, is one way is through independent practice.
Yeah.
Because now you're not beholden to private equity.
Yeah.
As a physician in ER or other specialties that do well in locums, if a critical mass of doctors reach that level where there's so many of us doing locums,
Exactly.
now you can collectively bargain and say, you know what, we're not getting out of bed for less than 400. Take it or leave it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But if there's just but we're, on my end, I'm just trying to educate doctors on what their value and their worth is and to demand it.
Yeah.
Not be shy about it, not be, a dirtbag about it.
Yeah.
But value yourself, and then other people will start valuing you.
And that's true. When I put out some of my reels and I'm saying how much I'm getting paid, and people are like, why are you sharing this? It's going to hurt you. I was like, no, it's actually going to help me. It's to help me, actually, because when I sit there and I'm not willing to take less than my amount, another hemong doctor's like, dude,
I'm not going to take less.
So-and-so is getting that much. I'm getting the same, right? This is what we should all aspire to this level. Don't get paid less than this.
They're not going to undercut you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And the hospitals won't have all these guys who don't know any better taking it for half the rate, And it's not even the hospitals that will take the money. It's a lot of the times it's the different locum companies that will take the bigger cut,
Oh, absolutely. So, I've been in the locums game for 10 years. I have my staffing company for 8 years, and I teach residents on game.
Yeah.
On how these locums companies actually work.
Yeah.
And how we're different in the sense that it's recruiters at these locums companies, their goal is to pay you the least amount.
Oh, yeah.
And bill the hospital the highest amount that they possibly can.
Yeah.
So what that delta, just to put some numbers on it. So say, for example, I'm working an ER shift through some ex-locums company. They're going to just say they bill the hospital $400 an hour.
Yeah.
Their goal is to pay me as least as they possibly can. Probably start me off at $200 because they're hoping I'm a sucker and I don't know anything about my worth.
Yeah.
Which is what happened in my first contract.
Yeah. My first contract I got screwed too.
Yeah, I took a job at $200 an hour, bro.
Yeah.
I found out later these guys are getting paid like $300 plus an hour. And I'm like, dude.
I
took
a
mistake.
I took $4,000 a day, and I figured out they were paying out $6K. So locum companies pocketing $2K a day on me.
So so the goal is, so if they pay you $200 and they're charging the hospital $400, there's a $200 delta, and that commission comes as a percentage off that $200. So say it's like 15%, right?
Yeah.
But if you say you demand $300, now that commission delta is less. It's $100. So $1,500. So 15% off of that is a lot less than it's like half. You understand? And so in our company, staffing company, we don't actually have recruiters. We have 0 recruiters on the team.
Yeah.
My social media presence is our recruiting sort of tool. And so we cut out that entire layer. We're not incentivized by trying to pay some recruiter and sipping lattes in Palm Beach.
Yeah.
I just start you guys at the highest rates.
Yeah.
It's like, here's your highest rate that I can do while still maintaining a profitable business, and no negotiation. Like, it's like
and it's cheaper for the hospital too, right? They're willing to keep getting you contracts.
What that does is it brings you good quality doctors who know their worth and aren't going to leave like after 3 months because they found something paying a little bit more.
Exactly.
Right? And so it's a win-win for everybody.
Yeah.
And so, again...
And by the way, you're the only physician-run locum company that I know of that's successful. So, a lot of the ER doctors that are watching this, or any doctor, they should definitely jump on your bandwagon.
Thank you.
Good guy.
I try to, look, I still work in the trenches, bro.
Yeah.
So it's not like I made it to some ivory tower and I'm not working.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I work, it's been like 3 weeks I've had off now. I've lost track of how many days I have off because I have so many.
Yeah.
Thankfully, alhamdulillah. But, when I get back, I work about 6 or 7 shifts this month. I forget. I have to look at my calendar. But I still work clinically, my point is.
Yeah.
Right? Because I still get the grind. Like, I get it. Like, I feel like I need to be connected to that. And I enjoy medicine.
Yeah.
But when I have a month off, I actually look forward to going back to work.
Yeah.
I actually enjoy it. I'm like, hey, man, I want to go back to work and see patients and just like,
when you're getting paid your worth, you don't mind some of the shit that happens.
You don't mind. I'm like chilling. I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? It is what it is. I'll see. Like, the PA didn't show up. Sucks, but I'll do it. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Because you're getting paid for your time.
And you're also fulfilled outside.
Yeah.
That is key, I think.
Yeah.
When you're not fulfilled outside and you're just getting like burnt out inside, it's like you're getting hit from all angles.
Yeah.
When you're fulfilled outside, you just took a month off. It's a lot easier to get and be your emotional cup is full.
I agree with you. And I think that's what people kind of miss on my aspect, because I take my Lambo to work, right?
Yeah.
And I come into work and I'm saying goodbye. I'm like a morning ray of sunshine, I like to think, every day, because that Lambo helps me, right?
It helps.
Since I was a kid, I loved cars, right? And being able to live out my dream and be in my supercar every day, doing the job I dreamed of doing, being a doctor, it just hits the day every time, man.
It's hard to be sad when you show up in a Lambo. no matter what happens that day. And then when you know you're going home in the Lambo.
And then you get supercharged for home because you just arrive in your Lambo.
Your adrenaline's pumping
exactly.
from that V12 engine. Freaking.
Yeah.
You have a custom exhaust on that?
I do. I have an IPE.
Nice.
Yeah.
Flames?
It shoots a foot, 2-3 feet flames.
So I got to like follow a little bit. I got to give you a little distance, huh? We'll have to check the supercars out after this. I have a 488 GTB here.
I saw.
And I was driving that thing. I haven't driven it in like a few months because it stays here.
Wait, do you take the Urus with you when you travel?
It depends where I am and how long.
Yeah.
So I stay on the East Coast. So I was here for a month in the summer. So I had it shipped out here for a month because I was just hanging out. I was like, why not? But normally the Urus is over there and I drive to work in that. And then I have a 488 here. But yeah, supercar. I was driving that. I'm like, actually, as a matter of fact, the first time I drove a supercar was on a track in Las Vegas. I was there for a conference. There's a little track outside of Vegas. It was a 458 Italia. And I remember after that moment, I was like, I'm getting a supercar.
Yeah.
It didn't happen right away, but like I have to have that experience in my life.
Yeah.
As a man who's growing up, had posters of Ferraris and Lambos and Porsches and all that stuff. I'm like, that has to, like, that experience, I want that like more. I need more of that in my life. You know, on supercars, tell me, you were at, you enjoy cars obviously, and I think we're both into cars and things. How was Monterey Car Week this year for you? Did you attend any cool events or?
Mine was short-lived because I was, of course, working.
Yeah.
And I was on call the weekend of Monterey Car Week, so luckily it was chill. I take call remotely as a locum gig, believe it or not. And so,
because on call, you don't have to really go in.
You don't necessarily have to go in. I mean, there's rare emergencies where you technically might need to, but they're extremely rare.
As long as you have a cell phone reception, you're
exactly
good.
Pretty much. And so mine was short lived, man. I met up with my friends. They're already pretty jaded from the week.
Yeah, they're probably tired. At the end
exactly.
Of it, right?
They're very tired, and the traffic was wild, man. I burned my clutch sitting in traffic for about an hour. Yeah,
the traffic going to Monterey and back during Car Week.
Yeah.
Next year we'll have to do it like where we kind of maybe plan it out. Go out there, get a couple days, get a hotel out there.
Exactly.
And there's some couple events that have you been before, or was this your?
No, that was my first time. Yeah.
So it took me a couple years to figure out what events to go to.
Exactly.
So next year we'll make it.
I need to go with the pros. So I'll go with you next time.
I want to say I'm a pro, but yeah, I figured it out. Which are the ones that are worth your time?
Yeah.
So yeah, the last thing I wanted to get into. Obviously, I feel like there's a lot to talk about. Faith.
Oh yeah.
Has that played a role in your kind of, we're both Muslim. Has that played a role in any of the things that you're doing and like you kind of going out on your own and inspired you in any way?
That's a good question. I mean, I've been, how do I say this? I've been both weak and strong in faith, and I think luckily, currently doing well. But I felt like when I was weak in my faith, there was something missing. I could have had anything at that point, but there was always something missing. And then, alhamdulillah, we started getting back into it, and it's been the happiest, most content I've ever been, and then I think it obviously helps you in terms of, for me, it helps with patient care. It just helps you be a better human with your patients, knowing that every opportunity at work is an opportunity for a good deed.
Yeah.
So I think that's what people miss a lot on. Like when people are thinking of careers, like the most direct opportunity you have to do a good deed, literally every waking moment at work, is being a doctor.
Serving people.
Yeah,
right? Like in the most vulnerable moment.
Exactly. And then there's so many easy ways to just go above and beyond, and and you don't get burnt out in that sense when your faith is strong, because you're like, you know what, I'm doing this for multiple reasons. I'm doing it for the patient, I'm doing it for myself, I'm doing it for So I think that's where faith comes into play for me.
Yeah. And I think I don't know if you've seen the same thing, but a lot of Muslim residents and doctors have reached out to me as well. Because I don't know if I did a reel. I should probably do this next Ramadan. But like I took like 3 weeks off and 4 weeks off. I worked the first week of Ramadan, and I took like 4 weeks off into Eid, and even afterwards, like I had like a whole week off. And like I've worked shifts, like a lot of shifts, like when I was working a lot during Ramadan, it's just not the same.
Yeah.
When you're fasting and you're at work
it's
and
hard.
you're seeing patients and you're hungry, it's just like, you don't feel like you got that sort of. It's tough. Let's put it that way. That spiritual benefit of kind of going to the mosque and praying, all that stuff.
That's the amazing part of locums, though. You can do something like that, take time off.
I asked, like, when's the last time?
There's no employed job that would give you that.
You took 4 weeks off, the last whole, 3 weeks off of Ramadan. Like, I mean, it really changes the entire experience for you, right? And so, again, just being able to do whatever you want to do on your own terms, I think is special. And, Yeah, man.
The one thing I'm kind of dealing with, just kind of jumping topics a little bit, is like the public perception of like doctors making a lot of money.
Let's get into it.
Yeah, so I like a lot of my posts, like the American Income interview, went bad because a lot of patients were just like, "Oh my God, he's like selling chemicals," or there's just so many damn things.
You're gonna get the trolls, bro. Trolls are everywhere.
Yeah.
They live under a rock and they have nothing better to do.
Yeah,
than to like just talk.
I was just shocked because there's pilots that make $200,000 to $400,000, right? And why is it like?
Why can't your doctor make money?
Yeah, why can't your doctor make like maybe 2-3x of that? I mean, the training is literally 3x.
And he's kind of doing something valuable directly to your care.
Yeah,
you would want him to be paid well, so he's happy.
I'm like, if I was a patient, God forbid, and my doctor came in with a Lambo with the biggest smile in the world because he's living his life outside of medicine, and he comes to work prepared to take care of patients, like why the hell not? So that's where I was also shocked, and it doesn't make sense to me because there's athletes that make millions of dollars that we will never see as doctors, right? Like we'll never see that level of income. And it's just they're all distractions.
And at the same time, they worship these athletes. And will die to take a picture with them. But with their doctor who's literally spent 10 years of his life slaving away, working 150-hour weeks. There's a problem with him making a little bit of money.
Yeah, I don't understand that at all.
Yeah.
And in the movies, when we grew up as kids, we grew up thinking doctors were rich.
Yeah.
Right? So this is where I'm more stuck. I'm like, I thought you guys all assumed we were rich anyways. We're not really rich, right? Until you kind of break the system like we're doing, right?
Unless you do that, you're not rich. You're paying half in taxes.
Yeah, you're not. And it's a completely game changer. You'll live paycheck to paycheck easily if you want to live the life you want as a doctor, unless you break the system.
So yeah, guys, I mean, I think this has been an awesome discussion about just kind of showing people that it's possible.
Yeah.
If you're feeling burnt out, if you're feeling like you're caught like a cog in the wheel, you feel like you're trapped, which a lot of doctors feel like. I feel like I've worked at several different facilities and all this stuff. I think about 75% of docs, if I had to guess, if you could give them 80% of their salary today doing something else, they will leave medicine.
Which is sad.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, how's that sustainable?
Yeah.
I mean, the system is meant to just suck you dry and spit you out.
Yeah.
It's designed to burn you out.
Yeah.
And so, we were kind of fortunate, I would say, to be in a position that we're in where we took chances, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't spoon-fed to us. We took chances to get to a place where we can now just share our story.
Yeah.
That's what it is. To me, it's like, look, if this story vibes with you, if your story vibes with someone, check him out. Like, this is real. We're real human beings. We're not like some AI artificial, some AI generated hologram of us. You have a real Lambo. I saw it outside. I have a Ferrari. It's outside. I mean, it's like you can live a good life. Like we're not like fake. Those, and so, I think the goal is to inspire people. Like you don't have to be stuck. You have a noble profession. It makes good money. You can make good money, and you can also have your life as well.
Yeah, you should demand your value.
It shouldn't have to be one to the exclusion of the other.
Exactly.
I feel like at least in training, we're kind of you just sacrifice everything.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to.
Yeah.
And that mindset doesn't go away once you graduate.
Exactly.
Like no, now you need to kind of start living as well.
Yeah. When you feel valuable and you're getting your value, you're going to be a better doctor too.
Absolutely. When you're fulfilled outside, you'll be fulfilled inside of medicine. So that's the best way. All these hacks and the tricks as I say, oh, we'll do some wellness workshop and yoga at 5 a.m. and we'll do like a little thing, pizza on a holiday. That stuff don't work.
The wellness is zipping around your Lambo.
Zipping around your Lambo, taking 35 days off, spending time with your family, traveling the world, and still having 2 weeks off when you get back.
Agreed.
That is wellness. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much, Nuri. It was great having you on the pod, man. We got to do this again.
Likewise.
Thanks for watching, guys. It's the Top Doc Podcast. Check out Nuri. Post the links down in the comments about your website, your Insta, all that stuff. I think, again, doctors get used to investing in yourself.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid of taking that next step because we're proof that you can do this.
Agreed.
Peace.